This past weekend, I was at a mastermind with a lot of high-level business owners, and a lot of these business owners were completely flabbergasted at the opportunity that we have as TikTok Shop affiliates. And I wanted to share some of the perspective that I learned over the weekend, and to help you realize that this opportunity that TikTok Shop is quite frankly unlike anything that we've ever seen in the past decade. So in this video, I'm going to explain exactly why that is. This mastermind that I was at this past weekend, right? It was a lot of people who own, coaching, info businesses, as well as also agencies, right? So agencies where you help businesses with certain services. So maybe you're helping them with emails, maybe you're helping them set up ads, all these different things, right? So a lot of these people, they knew about TikTok Shop, they knew what it was. And if you talk to anybody really outside of the TikTok Shop space, nobody really understands the level of opportunity that there is on this platform. So one of the key takeaways that I learned, and this is something I even forgot myself for the longest period of time, so I wanted to share this. And I was actually telling this story to a lot of my students in my program this past weekend, right? Because sometimes you get so caught up in the weeds of, oh, things aren't going well for me with TikTok Shop right now. I'm struggling. I've only made XYZ amount of dollars. I'm spinning my head in circles, and I feel lost. I feel like I want to give up. I'm just frustrated with TikTok Shop, right? So I'm going to share some of the conversations that I had with some of these, high-level business owners, some of which are doing over 6 figures a month in revenue, right? So I've been kind of telling them a little bit about myself, what I do, and how I, started with TikTok Shop affiliate myself. And I was telling them how, when I started, I was doing anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000 plus per month, pure profit as a TikTok Shop affiliate. And I'm still doing that to this day, by the way. And they were just completely shocked, right? Because when you have other types of businesses, there is a lot of skills that you have to master. So for example, if you run an agency doing, XYZ service, there's a lot of things that you have to be good at. One, you have to be good at sales. You have to be able to sell yourself to a business and convince them that, hey, I am the guy or woman to do this job for you and your business. Here's why you should pay me, right? So you have to get good at sales. You also have to get good at marketing, because you have to even get in front of these clients in the first place. So you either got to do cold email, you got to do cold calling, you got to do content, or you have to do advertisements, right? Just to even get in front of potential customers, right? Then from there, you have to now actually go and close them, right? So you have to understand how to actually facilitate a sales cycle, which sometimes for these businesses, depending on the deal size, they can be, 2-3 calls long, and you have to understand how to structure that conversation and make sure that you're putting yourself in a position to actually close those deals, right? So now, again, now you've actually signed clients. Okay, you have to actually fulfill on it. So you have to be good at the skill itself outside of the sales to even get them in the door in the first place. Okay, but that's not all. After you start to get multiple clients, you really have to understand and get good at the skill of being able to delegate. So sometimes you have to hire people. You have to be able to train all these different people. And then you have to actually manage the people to make sure that they're actually doing what they're doing. And if they do a horrible job, then you got to fire them. Then you got to bring in somebody else, right? So there's all these different skills involved with actually running any sort of business out there, right? So now let's take a step back. Let's compare that to TikTok Shop, right? On TikTok Shop specifically, what do you need to be good at? Making content. That is it. You only have to be good at one specific skill, right? And so it's not just TikTok Shop. Let's take a look at almost any other opportunity out there that's been around for the past 10 years, right? Anything with just making money online, not even running a business, right? So if you compare this to drop shipping, right? You have to be very good at actually making advertisements. You have to be a good media buyer. You have to understand how to read all this data from Facebook. Then you have to figure out how to actually find a product. You have to be good at customer service. You have to build a Shopify site. All these different skills involved, right? And not only that, sometimes a fair amount of upfront capital to get going, right? To actually learn those skills. Let's also compare that to Amazon FBA. You obviously need a bunch of inventory. So with Amazon FBA, you have to either put the inventory on a credit card, or you have to have the money, which if you want to do any amount of money on Amazon FBA or drop shipping, like if you're a successful drop shipper, Amazon FBA, or even you run an agency or a specific type of business, you're doing well if you're doing anywhere from 20 to 50% profit margins. Let's compare that to TikTok Shop, where whatever money you make is going straight to your bank account. So you have to get good at one specific skill. And I know sometimes it's really difficult. You get caught up in the weeds of, oh, these things are going wrong. And again, going back to the story that I was talking about, where I was talking to all these owners, like half of them were jokingly in some way, shape, or form, but they were also partial serious. They're like, how do I get into TikTok Shop, right? Because there's so much capital and headaches and stress that go into running some of these businesses, where again, TikTok Shop is unlike anything we've ever seen before, because even like I said, the other make money online opportunities, you've had to have all these different skills, right? So not only that, you're stacking as much cash as humanly possible that you can then develop into other skills. But here's the actual most interesting part, is the speed at which you can completely change your life with TikTok Shop, right? So if you start from any business, any make money online opportunity, you're starting from zero, right? Same thing with anything else, you're starting with TikTok Shop from zero. But a lot of these businesses, they take months and months and months and months to compound, where sometimes it can take 8 to 12 months just to get to 50 grand a month revenue, which depending on if you're running ads, you're doing all these different skills, you have fulfillment, you have, employees, your average profit margin might be anywhere from 40% or something like that. So 40% of $50,000, that's $20,000, profit in a single month, which is great, obviously. But now you have to reinvest that into other things. You got to hire, you got to run more ads. So you're constantly in this game of rehiring, redeploying capital into the actual business. Whereas with TikTok Shop, for example, one of my students daily in her first very full month, she did $24,000 commission. $24,000 straight to her bank account. There's no expenses. There's nothing. You know what's funny? The product that she bought, that she's promoting, cost her about $16, $20. $20 expenses on $24,000 straight to your bank account. You have no idea how much life can open up and what kind of doors can actually potentially open for yourself when, one, you stack as much cash as humanly possible because you're not tied down to all these heavy expenses that you are with other businesses. So the main message I want you to take away from this video is, please do not lose sight of the opportunity that we have in front of us. Like, this has never been seen before, where you could just start something, no experience, be a complete newbie to business as a whole. Myself, this is technically the first real business that I've run, but it all started with learning the skills from TikTok Shop, right? And just learning how to make actual videos. You have to get good at one thing. If you master one skill, everything else is taken care of you. For example, TikTok takes care of all the distribution to your content, right? If you make good content, you don't have to worry about the fulfillment. You don't have to actually do anything with the products. There's no back-end capital where you have to worry about, oh, let me handle customer service. Let me make sure these customers actually get their product. And believe me, coming from the e-commerce side as well, I help run some of these TikTok Shop brands. Being an affiliate is, one, you make way more cash, and two, it's way less stressful because you're not dealing with headaches from USPS losing 200 packages overnight, which, by the way, is a very true story. Had USPS lose over 200 packages overnight and claim that they never received them. So therefore, now you have 200 angry customers emailing you like, hey, I want a refund because I haven't got this product, when meanwhile it was USPS that made this entire mistake. That doesn't exist as an affiliate. That's not your problem. You sold the product, you're getting paid, right? So please, when you're getting frustrated by this opportunity, and most importantly, take advantage of this while it's here. There's no saying how long this opportunity will last, and at the end of the day, every single month that goes by where you're wasting it, not taking full advantage of this opportunity, whether that's not posting consistently or just not getting the right information, like, time is ticking, the clock is going for this opportunity on TikTok Shop. Now, this isn't some doom and gloom, oh, it's going to be gone tomorrow, but truly, as someone who's been involved in these make money online opportunities before, like Amazon FBA, I call it the tail end of Amazon FBA, and so I really think back, what would have happened if I was on this opportunity when it was in its initial stages? TikTok is only a year and a half, 2 years old, and it's just getting started. It's just getting bigger, right? And so as a result, more and more brands are being onboarded, right? So every single month that you're not making the money that you want to make, whether that's to quit your 9-to-5 job, to support your family, or do whatever else, like, this is the time to make it happen, right? So that's exactly why I'm working with a ton of students. For example, daily in their first very full month at $24,000 commission. I have multiple students doing over $20,000 to $30,000 every single month. That's not a coincidence, right? So although this opportunity is simple, it does not mean it's easy. And at the end of the day, you got to have the right information to be able to implement this. So please, like, if you're feeling frustrated, if you're not where you want to be on TikTok Shop, do something to change it, right? So again, don't get lost in the endless sea of doom and gloomers where, oh, TikTok Shop doesn't work, only the people with the money, only the people at the top make the most amount of money. Yes, they do, because they're putting themselves in the right position, right? So this is what's allowed me to do personally over $2.5 million GMV on TikTok Shop, and never have done less than $10,000 profit per month commission since May of 2024, and those are my personal numbers. Again, that's by putting yourself in the right position. And I understand from missing some of these opportunities before that this is only going to be here for so long. So again, if I want you to take anything away from this video, take this opportunity seriously, because we never know when it's truly going to end. And it's one of those things where it's like, you never know you're in the good old days until they're gone. It's the exact same thing with TikTok Shop. So if you want to apply to work with my program and work with me one-on-one and my team to help you get to $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 plus per month and have the entire blueprint laid out in front of you, it just comes down to if you can put your head down and do the work. It's hard not to get to where you want to be on TikTok Shop. So if you want to apply for that, the link is going to be in the description. And again, as TikTok Shop continues to evolve, the people who have already cracked the code are going to continue to make this amount of money. Meanwhile, it gets more and more difficult to get to that upper echelon. So the quicker that you get to the upper echelon, the better off that you're going to be, and most importantly, stack the cash while it's here for TikTok Shop, as opposed to running a business where you're maybe 20 to 50% profit margins. You have 8 million different headaches, whereas your job as a TikTok Shop affiliate is just to post the best videos possible and stack as much cash as you possibly can. So with that, I will see everybody in the next video.